destroyed. Because people like Agrippa II had been barred from it earlier, as you read your Josephus. Bernice, they'd been stoned to keep them away from the temple, even though their ancestors had helped refurbish and rebuild it. They were considered so unclean and so impure and so hated and despised that this is how the mob treated them. Then we know that there was a council done, and Bernice was there with Titus, Vespasian's son, at the time that the Romans stormed Jerusalem. And some sources say a decision was taken to burn the temple. I'm not surprised, given the way these people were treated in the temple. So in any case, Bernice would be one of the most hated people in Palestine. Here she is with her brother on his arms. King Agrippa, 26-27, I know you believe. You believe in the prophets, don't you? Paul says to Agrippa. 28, Agrippa says back to Paul, are you trying to persuade me to become a Christian? In a little bit I might. That is a little more from you, Paul, and I think I would become a Christian. So these people are almost on the verge, according to this presentation. In any case, and Paul says, my prayer to God is that both of you, Bernice and Agrippa too, in a little while, and in full measure, you and all those others, Festus and everybody else, Felix, will someday become what I am. It's like going before Hitler and Goebbels and some other people and telling them we want you to become righteous people. I mean, if you don't know who these people are, that's fine. But if you know who these people are, what they were doing in Palestine and how they were looked upon in Palestine, then you wouldn't think this. And in any case, Agrippa II is responsible for the death of James. We can be sure of that. He appointed Ananus as high priest in the time between the two governors, and Albinus was the new governor that was on the way. It was 62 AD. Josephus covers it quite clearly. And the only thing Ananus did was bring about the execution of James. And it said that Ananus and Agrippa II had become friends back in Rome in the 50s during that appeal over the temple wall affair, when they had appealed to Rome. So it's all in Josephus there. Well, they both say, as in the Jesus story, look, if you had not appealed to Caesar, you could have been set free. This man has done nothing deserving of prisonership. That's the final judgment of Agrippa II, Bernice, Festus, and presumably Drusilla and Felix, so they've already gone back to Rome. The rest is about Paul's trip to Rome. It seems to me he's taken out of the country because he couldn't have gone free, could he? If he'd gone free, he wouldn't have survived. The only thing that he can do is go to Rome, actually. Now the question is, what happened to him in Rome? There's, by the way, the usual shipwreck here in chapter 28. There's always a shipwreck, and a viper bites Paul, but he just shook the beast off. He suffered no harm. All these people are always shipwrecked. In the Pseudo-Clementines, there's always the shipwreck. And there may have been a shipwreck. In fact, isn't there another instance here where they're in a storm, line 41 of the previous chapter 27, and they're throwing everybody overboard. Rudders, hoisting main. So these are the typical novelistic shipwrecks that you get in all the literature of this period. And but desiring to save Paul, the centurion kept them from their purpose and commanded those who could swim to jump off and go into land. And the rest, some indeed on board, and others on some things from the ship, all were brought safely to land. So even the centurion is protecting Paul here again. But the question is, are these real events? You'll have to decide. Anyway, when he gets to Rome, he thinks that in fact he's going to be received badly. He's very worried. When he came to Rome, 28:16, the centurion delivered the prisoners to the commander of the camp. But Paul was allowed to remain by himself. He was given very special treatment. He's basically under a light house arrest, if this is accurate. After 3 days, he calls together all of the Jews in Rome. He calls together all the Jews in Rome. How can he call together all the Jews in Rome if he's a prisoner? Is this Gladiator? Is this a Roman prison, or is this a country club? He can't call together all the Jews in Rome unless he's a very favored prisoner, can he? He's an aristocrat. He's upper class. He's got tremendous influence somewhere. I would say Felix and Drusilla have paved the way, and Bernice and Agrippa II have helped. Agrippa II ultimately retires to Rome after he's no longer welcome in Palestine, but not before he split the prisoners from the storming of the Sea of Galilee towns, when the blood of Galilee ran with revolutionaries' blood of the people in the boats who were slaughtered by the Roman troops, and the Romans sold everyone along the towns there into slavery except the old man and little children who were worth nothing, and killed them all. And the slaves were split between Titus and Agrippa II for income. You can read about it in Josephus. Agrippa II ultimately retired to Rome, spent a very nice, comfortable retirement there. Josephus says that I sent my book to Agrippa II, and he read it, and he wrote me a nice letter complimenting me. And he actually gave me about 90 some odd letters that he added to my collection of information that he had in his possession to help me, and I used these to write the Antiquities. So Agrippa II helped Josephus add this other information that appears in the Antiquities that is not in the Jewish War. It's pretty interesting. It's in Josephus's Vita biography appended to the Antiquities. Josephus wrote 2 books. So Agrippa II gets off scot-free for everything. Anyway, you can decide yourself what you think, but I think these people helped Paul get to Rome. And anyway, he calls the Jews together, the usual thing. Why doesn't he call the Christians together in Rome? Why is he calling the Jews together? Because I don't think there are any Christians in Rome as Christians. Christians are still Jews at this point. In any case, they're all part of the same community. Brothers, I have done nothing against them, but he finds out that they don't even know who he is. They haven't heard about him. They haven't heard of any events in Palestine. They haven't heard of any Sanhedrin trials. Nothing. Brothers, I've done nothing against the people or the customs of our father. Yet I was given over as a prisoner. Well, that isn't true. He has, according to some views of it, done things that some would disapprove of. And I don't think he's a very serious prisoner. In any case, but they don't have any problem with him. He gives them his talk again.